Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Bell MTS Place. My name is Jamie Thomas from True North Sports and Entertainment. I'll be your MC for this incredible announcement. First, I'd like to thank all media and guests for being here today, with a special welcome to the Honorable Premier of Manitoba, Brian Pallister, and the Minister of Sport, Culture and Heritage, the Honorable Kathy Cox. We have some other special guests in attendance who know our speakers will be excited to announce a little bit later. Before we get started, a note to please save your questions until the end. Following our three speakers, please remain here as each speaker will return to the podium in the order they originally appeared to take your questions. Without further ado, I'd like to call upon the CEO of Canada Basketball, Glen Grunwald. Glen is a universally respected, longtime NBA executive, lawyer, and sports administrator. Prior to Canada Basketball, Glen spent 4 years as athletic director at McMaster University. However, he's known for his high-profile roles as general manager of the Toronto Raptors and the New York Knicks. His extensive sports background gives him the knowledge to lead the National Federation of Basketball today. Glen.
Well, thank you very much. It's great to be here in Winnipeg at the Bell MTS Place. One of the great things about being involved in basketball is to get to know some of the people involved in basketball, and they're all such wonderful people. We have so many hoopsters here today, so I won't get into mentioning all of them, but it's great to see that Premier Brian Pallister, former hoopster, is here. Thank you for coming out today. And Adam Wetlake, who does such a great job at Basketball Manitoba. And also we have here Kirby Shep, who's a coach at University of Manitoba, who coached our boys team to the Commonwealth Games silver medal last year. So thank you, Kirby. And you'll be coaching our under-16 team this year down in Brazil. It's also a very exciting time to be involved in basketball in Canada. And for a lot of reasons, we've had tremendous success and the game is growing and doing better. And it's very great for me to come here and be able to announce that we're bringing the excitement of basketball to Winnipeg and the Bell MTS Place. So on August 9th, Canada Basketball senior men's national team against the Nigerian senior men's team as well. This is going to be I think, our best team ever. That's our goal. We have more players in the NBA than any other country outside of America. We have 13 players ready to be drafted in the NBA this coming summer. And we have an exciting group of NBA players and talented professional players ready to put on the red and white for their country. This will be the last exhibition game before our senior men's national team departs for overseas to get ready for the World Cup. This is the last stop in Canada on the road to the World Cup, and we're going to have our best team available. All of our NBA guys are saying they're excited. This is an opportunity for us to represent Canada and also qualify for the Olympics. We leave on August 10th to go to Australia for an exhibition tour, and then on September 1st, only a few weeks away, we'll be taking on Australia in the first game of the World Cup. We need to be here. We need to have a great send-off from the fans in Winnipeg. I know what a great sports town Winnipeg is. I know how great the basketball community is. And I look forward to coming back here on August 9th to a sellout crowd, to really cheer on and inspire our players before we depart for the World Cup. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Kevin Donnelly. And I look forward to partnering with Kevin and his team here at Bell MTS Place to have a first-class event that all of the fans in attendance will have a memorable and hopefully victorious experience. So thanks again for coming out, and look forward to seeing you back here in August.
Thank you very much, Glen. Very, very exciting announcement. Thank you all for coming today. As I mentioned, I do want to express our gratitude for the special guests, including the Right Honorable Brian Pallister, our Premier, and Minister of Heritage, Culture, and Sport, Kathy Cox. So thank you for coming. Also, Karen Goosen from and Natalie Thiessen from Tourism Winnipeg, Melanie Swarnchuk from Travel Manitoba, as well as our friends from Basketball Manitoba and Canada Basketball, and of course members from the media. Thank you all for coming. Also in attendance today is a Winnipeg resident, Keith OMeara, and Keith has played on Team Nigeria before and is currently playing professional basketball overseas. He just returned last week from the Ukraine, and with any luck, we'll see Keith suit up representing Team Nigeria. So good luck, Keith. Also, very honored to have members of our Nigerian community here. We are pleased to have Jean-Paul Ngabo, president of the Manitoba Basketball African Association, as well as Deyu Ashiru. He's the president of the Nigerian Association. As well, he's joined by Ndiko Zukum, and Wilson Akinwale, all again from the Nigerian Association. So thank you for coming. So we are thrilled. Thank you. Yeah. We are thrilled to confirm that Winnipeg has been chosen by Canada Basketball as the site for the game between Team Canada and Team Nigeria as each team prepares for the FIBA World Cup in China. Canada will play twice against Team Nigeria, once in Ontario and once here in Winnipeg, and will, as mentioned, will depart immediately thereafter for more pre-tournament games in Australia. Each test is a meaningful opportunity for the team to gel and come together as a unit. Each year, a new selection of elite players is gathered from across the land to represent the best basketball skills that Canada has to offer. Players from across our nation, playing at the CIS, at NBA, and at the international level, are united to represent their country and for a chance to bring home a medal. And this year, Winnipeggers get to share in this journey. Past stars such as Steve Nash, two-time NBA MVP, and 8-time NBA All-Star, have suited up in the red and white to compete on this international stage. This year's lineup will arguably be one of the best ever. While the roster isn't set yet, the strength of the players being developed in Canada has never been stronger. Current NBA stars hailing from the Great White North include, of course, the Timberwolves' Andrew Wiggins, the Boston Celtics' Kelly Olynyk, and Tristan Thompson of the Cleveland Cavaliers will soon be joined by the likes of Duke University's R.J. Barrett and an impressive list of other names from Canada on their way to becoming bona fide NBA superstars. It is indeed a very exciting time to be a basketball fan in Canada. The last time Winnipeg played host to a Team Canada visit was during the 1999 Pan Am Games, so this has been a long time waiting, 20 years now, and we have a new generation of local players who will now have a chance to see in person what they can strive for in their sport. Tickets for the game will go on sale this Friday at Ticketmaster.ca, starting at only $19.50 plus fees, and we are confident that basketball fans and fans of all sports will enjoy the chance to cheer on our national team and help them set this team on a winning path to gold. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kevin. Here to share more about the local and community impacts of this game is Ross Wetlake, president of Basketball Manitoba. No stranger to Team Canada, he's a former member of the senior men's Canadian national team and was heavily involved in the 1999 Pan Am Games when the team was last here in Winnipeg. Ross.
Thank you and good afternoon. This is an exciting day for Manitoba, for Winnipeg, and especially for our Manitoba basketball community. The opportunity to host this game in August is going to be a highlight of the year for us for sure. Basketball is really, depending on the statistics you look at, is either the fastest growing or the second fastest growing sport in Canada. Now, no matter what statistic you believe, there are more people, especially young people, playing basketball now, not only in Canada, but in the province of Manitoba than ever before. And it is a very, very fast-growing sport, as I said. We have a large community of people who are going to rally behind this, a vibrant community, many volunteers and others who are going to step forward and get involved in the promotion of this game. So we know we're going to make it a success. We want to, of course, thank you. A lot of thank yous go to Canada Basketball, Glen Grunwald, who's here and you heard earlier, Don Smythe, the True North Sports and Entertainment people who have been very supportive, and the Tourism Winnipeg people who have been very supportive in making this happen. Winnipeg and Manitoba is no stranger to our senior national team. There are a long history of people who have participated in our national team, and many of them are here today. And I'd just like to mention some of the names of the people who have been here who have played on our national teams in the last, say, 40 or 50 years. First of all, Bob Town, who actually played many years and played in the 76 Olympics. Ken Apolko, Ted Stowes, Devin Daly, and Rick Watts all played in the 70s and 80s, as did Joe Uggams and Dan Becker. Dan is now, of course, our technical director at Basketball Manitoba. In the 90s, Jeff Foreman and Norm Fromell are both here, and they both played for Canada's national team. And recently, and still involved, is James Wagner, who is now a member of the University of Manitoba Bison's team. All of those people are here, along with Keith, as was mentioned earlier, and we're looking forward to seeing Keith on that team in August also. There are a number of coaches that have been involved. My brother Bill is here. He was with the national team in the 80s, a number of years. And of course, as already mentioned, Kirby Shep, who's the present coach of the University of Manitoba, was a coach and still is a coach with the Canadian national team program. And as was mentioned earlier, there's a lot of other people who have been involved in this. The Manitoba Basketball African Association and all the representatives of the Nigerian Association of Manitoba. We also have a board member of Canada Basketball with us today, a local boy, Joe DiCurzio. And we have Chino Argueta, who's a board member at our Basketball Manitoba. We also have all of our staff from Basketball Manitoba here, as well as Sean Close from the Winnipeg Minor Basketball Association and Janet McMahon of Sport Manitoba. So there's lots of representatives here of our sport community, and I know all of them will rally behind this. We are very, very excited about this. This is going to be a highlight of the summer, not only for Winnipeg, but for Manitoba, and specifically for our basketball community. So thank you all for being here, and I know we all will get behind this and make it a success. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn, Kevin, and Ross. We are truly excited to be a partner with Canada Basketball hosting such an important event coming up this summer. Team Canada's road to the World Cup, glad to be a part of that. It'll be a treat for Winnipeg fans to take part of this journey. A reminder that the general on-sale tickets is Friday at 10 a.m. through Ticketmaster, pre-sales beginning tomorrow morning at 10. In a moment, I'll welcome Glenn, Kevin, and Ross back to the podium to answer your questions. But first, I would like to invite you to join us for light refreshments just outside the Matt Frost Media Center following this formal program. Our alumni players will be available for photos following the Q&A. And if you would like one-on-one interviews, including with Kevin OMeara, please see Adam Wetlake, General Manager of Basketball Manitoba, to coordinate. I will welcome back to the podium Glen Grunwald for your questions.
When will the roster be known?
That's being developed over the course of the summer, but our training camp officially begins on August 4th in the GTA, and so we'll have a very short amount of time to prepare our team. So we'll have we have had great response from our team, from all of our NBA players, and it's going to be tough for us to make cuts for this team. This is, like I said, we have the most NBA players ever. We have a lot of talented players playing in Europe, and we have a lot of talented players that are coming into the NBA. So we have to pick the right team that's going to be most successful, and there'll be no shortage of talent to choose from.
Has the head coaching decision been made?
When I talk about the head coaching situation, I say patience is a virtue. It's important that we get the right person to coach our team. I'm very happy with the progress we made so far, but we have nothing to announce at this time.
Can I just follow up on the first one? Your point about the roster and the development of the NBA right now. How jacked are they to have an opportunity to wear the Canadian dress whenever an opportunity happens?
Very excited. I was talking to Kelly Olynyk's dad yesterday, and he was telling me how excited Kelly is to get back into it and to sort of redeem themselves from the failure to qualify in the 2016 Rio Olympics. And that's the feedback we get from everyone. They're all excited to play together. They want to show that Canada is one of the top countries in the world. You know, our official FIBA ranking is 23, but I think if you look at the quality of our team, I think we're well ahead of that. And the same thing with Nigeria. I think is ranked 33rd right now. Much better team than that, but it's an 8-year rolling average that FIBA calculates the rankings by. So the more recent success doesn't necessarily show up.
So can I expect my letter of invitation for the tryouts coming soon?
Tryouts for fan club or what? No. No, it is great to see all the alumni here, and I hope you get a chance to talk to them, because when I get the chance to spend some time with our Canada basketball alumni, you see how proud they are and how proud they should be of their work they did and the commitment they made to our country, and it's no different this time around. I think these guys have been together at various age groups, and they're still playing together now. And I know they're going to feel the same way that Ken does about his time with Canada basketball, and it's going to be really special for them. And they're building those memories and those connections now. And it's like Steve Nash said in his speech when he was entered into the Hall of Fame, that all the things that Steve Nash has done, the most important thing and the best thing he felt about was the time he spent with his national team. Okay.
Kevin Donnelly for your next question. Come on up.
I did want to make mention that I see some high rollers in the room, so we do have courtside seats that will be available starting at $250. But the prices do scale from that front row courtside at $250 down to $19.50 per ticket. So we're trying to accommodate every age group and every demographic in the pricing strategy. But we do hope for a sellout house for our national team. Thank you.
Ross?
I would just say, based on what I said earlier, that these kinds of events do a lot in terms of inspiring youth, because a lot of our young basketball players look for the role models, and having these people actually in the city on August the 9th and be able hopefully to see the game really inspires a lot of young people to not only start playing but to continue to play. And I think we want them to have those Canadian role models that they see. These are names that they've seen on TV and read about, and they'll be able to actually see a lot of these people in person. And I think that's going to be a big thing for a lot of our youth in our city. And I know as Basketball Manitoba, we're going to do our best to get as many young people there as possible. They may not be the high rollers, but they'll be there, and we'll do our best to get them in there in one way or another. Because they are the people, I think they are the future of the game, and they need to see this event in person, as many of them as possible. A lot of our inner city kids, we're going to work very hard to get as many of those attending the game as possible. We'll look for sponsors and other people who will be able to buy tickets and things like that. And we need to have those people there. So the high rollers are important, but the low rollers, if that's what they're called, we need to have them there too. I'll be sitting with them, by the way.
Ross, can you tell a lot of guys here may not know about the incredible growth in basketball in the city, Filipino League,
It is,
League.
yeah, sure.
There's a lot of growth happening.
There is. It's amazing. Every time I think I know all of the leagues that exist, I learn of another one. I went to there's probably the largest Filipino league, and if you know anything about Filipino people, they love basketball. And our increasing Filipino community, it's unbelievable. I went to the closing ceremonies of the Way League at Gordon Bell, and you could not get another human being in there. It was unbelievable the number of people that they had, parents and kids of all ages, some of them whose shorts were hitting the floor. You know what I mean? Playing the game of basketball. And we see that with other groups too. The WNBA, Sean Close here runs our WNBA, the number of teams that are operating in not only in Winnipeg, but in Manitoba as a whole. The game has grown tremendously and continues to grow. And we have other leagues, as I say, that exist. And not only youth leagues, but senior leagues too. There's a huge senior league that runs out of the University of Winnipeg, which of course lends itself to that sport for life thing, because we want to keep people playing as long as possible and keep them as healthy as possible. Yes. Who are you again?
Are there any Manitobans playing in Division I basketball in the States?
Not on the men's team, I don't believe. There are some women's team possibilities, but not on the men's side, no. Thank you.
Well, an impressive turnout here today on behalf of True North Sports and Entertainment and Canada Basketball. Thanks for coming here today. You can break off for one-on-one interviews, and of course, there's refreshments just outside the door. Thanks for coming today.